Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Today we are taking a look at LiquidTLO's ZvP style, and in the previous game we looked at a game where he was up against White Ra. However, in that game it was kind of just TLO kind of very well defending an attack, right? White Ra went for that early cannon rush into the, I believe it was 7 gate. So it was either 6 or 7 gate aggression, or maybe it was just 5. Yeah, it was just 5 units. He was just warping in 5 units at a time. So yeah, it was that 5 gate aggression where it just never really built up any kind of momentum. He was just kind of sitting there, warping in 5 units at a time and attacking. So TLO was only just sitting there fighting 5 units at a time, and so it just wasn't that effective, not that strong of an attack there from White Ra. So TLO just kind of held it very well with very strong macro and lings, and eventually going up into those Hydralisks, and then just kind of pushed back after a very, very nice hold. And White Ra just didn't have a third. So, in this game, I wanted to take a look at a game that goes for a little bit longer, where we get to see a little bit more of what TLO has been doing in Heart of the Swarm, at least one of the styles. Because TLO, of course, if you watch 10 games of TLO, you will see at least 6 or 7 different styles of play. I mean, this is TLO, for God's sake. The man is so creative, and he comes up with so many different kinds of builds. You see him doing things like roach drops all the time, nidus worms, things that are very, very unusual usually. So he's been doing a lot of variations and things, and I'm sure even this replay, which was from almost a month, well, I'd say about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I will bet that this is a style that to TLO is now old and outdated. I bet this is most likely going to be a style that he probably won't use too much anymore, because he goes through them so fast. He's constantly changing up his styles and constantly evolving. He's such a good player. Now, LiquidTLO is going for spawning pool first, which is, of course, the standard in this matchup, just because of what exactly his opponent is doing. As you can see, his opponent, mouzHasuObs, is going for this Forge first opening into Nexus. And, man, I never even introduced the players, did I? Well, TLO is, of course, spawning in the top left position here of Bel Shir Vestige. Spawning in the bottom right position is, of course, the red Protoss mouzHasuObs, another very, very, very good European StarCraft 2 player. And gonna have to see how he plays in Heart of the Swarm as well, because I actually haven't seen too many of his games so far in Heart of the Swarm. So I'll be really interested to be checking out his style as well. So we're going to be looking at that. Now, the Forge did come down, followed by the Photon Cannon, so he's going for a little bit more safer of a play than we saw White Ra go for in that previous game, where he's getting that Photon Cannon up before the Gateway. So this, of course, means that his Cybernetics core is going to be a little bit more delayed, and if this Overlord is here, can he actually see that? Yeah, the Overlord is actually seeing the Gateway timing, so TLO is going to know exactly when Warp Gate is going to be done, based solely on seeing when this Gateway goes down, because it's a very, very safe assumption to see that Gateway is going to go down, that it's going to be followed up with a core, and then go immediately for the Warp Gate tech. That is pretty much universal and standard. TLO, in the meantime, is just going to be getting up this fast 3 bases, very, very standard opening, similar to how it was in Wings of Liberty. Just going to be trying to get up as many bases as he can, whereas before, the, how should I say, the gas timings were the most important thing for LiquidTLO and other Zerg players in Wings of Liberty, and how they've changed is also the most important thing here. Because whereas players used to get much later gases, players used to go for either 2 gas at the 6-minute mark or 3 gas at the 6-minute and 30-second mark. These days, with the Mothership core now out and available to get very, very early, this allows Protoss players to get very aggressive early on, and means that a lot of times that we're going to be forced to defend. We see a lot of Protoss players get that Mothership core out, which actually we're seeing mouzHasuObs not go for right away anyway. And oh, we are seeing him go for a Stargate play though. We're seeing him hide this Stargate in the back of his base. Will TLO be able to see that? I'm not sure. But what I was saying is that a lot of times many Protoss players will move out with just a Mothership core and maybe a Zealot or 2 just to try to force some lings early on. And sometimes, every now and then, they'll even commit to it a little bit more than that. Every now and then they'll get up a couple of gateways. 2 gateways or 3 is rare, but 2 gateways every now and then you'll see come down, and then they'll go for some strong aggression at the front where slow lings just will not cut it. You got to have those extra queens up to get to deal with the mothership core, and you need to get up some Zergling speed to be able to deal with some of the ground units that could possibly come from Protoss. So we're seeing a lot later gases, or we're seeing one early gas these days, and then the other gas is kind of falling down at a slower pace. We see just now here at around the 6:30 mark, TLO taking a second gas here after having taken this first gas around the 5-minute mark. Now, Overlords are going in here for TLO, and it looks like he did manage to scout that Stargate, so he knows exactly about that Stargate coming, and now with the Phoenix coming out, he's going to know exactly what units HasuObs is producing as well. So he knows that the Phoenixes are coming out here for HasuObs, and how will he be responding to this? Well, so far we see the Zergling speed coming down. We see no layer tech on the way here yet for LiquidTLO, but we do see an evolution chamber coming down, and I'm not sure what's going on here, but TLO seems to be gathering up some of his Overlords, not over a Spore Crawler, but he's choosing to put his Overlords over his 2 evolution chambers. I guess he's going to be trying to hide his double evolution chamber here. This is a really interesting move here by TLO, trying to hide his tech from his opponent. Doesn't want his opponent to know that he's going for double upgrades this early on. In the meantime, some Zerglings are going to be coming out here to scout the front of the base of HasuObs, and HasuObs continuing to just produce more and more Phoenix right now, moving around the map, hunting down as many Overlords as he can right now. As you can see, he's managed to pick off a few. In the meantime, the Mothership Core is going up at the front just to poke in here, not trying to do any damage, just trying to poke in and see what LiquidTLO is up to, check on the gas timings, and now it looks like TLO is actually looking to take a 4th right here. So we can see the 4th is coming down, and HasuObs is going to be planting that Mothership Core right over, trying to force a cancel on that hatchery. And there's no creep spread out to that 4th base quite yet here for LiquidTLO, so he's not going to be able to get it, not going to be able to get a queen over there super fast. Now we see +1/+1 coming down here for LiquidTLO, and they are the melee attacks, so most likely going to be seeing some early Zergling play here from LiquidTLO, possibly going into some kind of a Ling Muta style. Phoenixes are now coming across the map, trying to pick off as many drones as they can, but what can we be expecting here out of TLO? What could he be possibly following this up with, and what? He's got a fleet beacon coming down here right now, so it looks like could we be seeing Tempest? Could we possibly be seeing Tempest coming out this early on? There's no way we're seeing carriers come down this early on. This would be really, really early to be seeing carriers come down. But on the other hand, this would be really, really early to be seeing Tempest coming down as well. So who knows? Maybe HasuObs is going to be opting to go for some kind of early. There we go. We do now see the Tempest coming down here. We do see a second Stargate going down here as well. So it looks like HasuObs is going to be going for some kind of a Sky Toss style, where he's going to be getting up a lot of air units early on. And how is TLO going to be dealing with this? I mean, he knows that his opponent got up a Stargate. It's fairly common to see Stargates come up early in this matchup, but man, it's rare that Zerg players expect there to be Tempest to be coming out this early in the game. We do see that the Protoss air weapons is coming down as well here for HasuObs. Currently up to 3 gateways, and he has, like I said, the double Stargate. Ooh, now going up to triple Stargate here. So yeah, he's going to be going on to full-on Sky Terran. But LiquidTLO just produced a huge round of Zerglings. So many Zerglings now moving across the map. Phoenix is continuing to try to pick off units wherever they can, but this 4th has finally been established. The Mothership Core just hanging out off to the side here, and now all these links coming across the map here for LiquidTLO. The food count is fairly even. Drone count is favoring LiquidTLO at the moment. 56 Harvesters to the 49 of HasuObs, and we do see a Baneling Nest just now being started, as well as the Infestation Pit now coming down here for LiquidTLO. He is currently up on +1/+1 upgrades, +2/+2 just now being started on the way as well. And now these Lings are coming in the front, and oh my goodness, they're going to get a full surround on all of these Zealots, and that is absolutely huge for TLO. This is such a big setback here for HasuObs, as he's now losing all of his Zealots, and he's now being forced to pull back here and be really, really defensive with these few sentries. As we can see, another sentry is now being warped in along with more Zealots here. Force fields going down at the front, but TLO continuing to just stream more Lings. We can see tons and tons of Lings moving across the map here. He's got this 4th base up, but so far he's not being able to actually take advantage of any mining on it. That fourth base is not mining at all, but with these Tempests, LiquidTLO has finally gone, what the heck is going on right now? As we can see, he's now reacting by throwing down a Spire here. So it looks like he's going to be getting up some Corruptors to try to deal with these Tempests. But in the meantime, more and more Links continuing to stream down across the map here for LiquidTLO, continuing to go down at the front. Will the Cybernetics core fall? And it looks like nice force field there, preventing Zerglings from dealing too much damage. But yes, the Forge falls. Now the Cybernetic core falls as well, loses the +1. That is such a big deal there for HasuObs, because of course with the +1/+1 attack, Zealots two-shot Zerglings, and that's actually a really, really big deal. Once you have that +1 attack, Zealots are able to two-shot Zerglings and makes them so much more effective at fighting against those Zerglings. So the fact that he just barely lost that +1 upgrade there on that Forge is going to be a huge loss there for HasuObs. Now, we do see HasuObs now switching into Void Ray tech. He did just get up these first few Tempests, just got a few up, and now he's going to be teching fully into Void Rays. As we can see, he's producing them 3 at a time, so this could potentially be very, very strong here from HasuObs. But like I said, TLO is preparing for this. His Spire is about to be completing. He does have some larva there. I'm trying to see how much, whether he's saving larva to go up to Corruptors. Looks like it's not quite what he's doing, but his +2/+2 is going to be wrapping up here soon, and there's still a lot of Zerglings on the map here for LiquidTLO. Food count's about even. If we check out the units lost tab, we can see that TLO has lost a lot more because he did that big attack at the front trying to deal a lot of damage. Didn't quite deal that much damage. Got a few building kills, man. Lost a lot of Zerglings in the mix there, but now looks like all the tech of HasuObs has now been revealed here as these Zerglings run by, see all the Tempests, see all the Void Rays, even see another Void Rays, sees all 6 Void Rays here, so he knows that his opponent's going to be going for a big time air attack here. So we do see +2 air weapons now coming down here for HasuObs. No other gateways or anything going down though. So far this entire game he's just been sitting on those 3 gateways, now going up to a total of 5 warp gates, or 6. Oh no, he actually is adding on more warp gates now here, so I misspoke. 7 warp gates here for HasuObs here, but this is very, very late to be going up to those gateways. Going to be relying strictly on Sky Terran here, as he's now moving across the map with these units to try to deal some damage here. TLO has established this base here, but there's not a whole lot of spores here, and he doesn't have a whole lot of other air defense. Some Corruptors now on the way right now for TLO. 5 are already on the way, 7 more coming up as well. Second Spire now going down as well. +1 flyer attack, so he's going to be getting double upgrades on this Spire, so he is not going to be trying to win the ground battle. He is actually just going to try to beat HasuObs at HasuObs' own game. HasuObs is trying to go for air, and TLO said, well, I'm not going to let you take air dominance. This is one option you can go for. If you see your opponent committing to one, either air or ground, you can always choose to just dominate at the other. Right, so if your opponent's going for Sky Toss, you can try to give up the Sky fight, say, forget it, I'm not going to be able to win the Sky fight, and instead I'm just going to go for a really, really strong ground attack. Maybe go for 200 roaches and just break down through the front and say, fine, you're going to win the air battle, but I am going to smash through you on the ground battle. So that's always one option, but it looks like no, TLO is actually just going to go straight up against his opponent here, getting the +1/+1 upgrades here for all of his air units. And as we can see, his army count is starting to get pretty high here. Food count's dead even, 159 to 153. Harvester count 75 to 55, favoring LiquidTLO, and TLO moving out with these Lings again, going to try to get a force cancel on this third, but little does he know this third is already up and established here for HasuObs. Lings coming in here, but there are just too many cannons here to have to deal with. Templar Archives now coming down here as well. Looks like he's continuing to produce more and more Void Rays out of these, and oh my god, that is so many Void Rays. Checking out the units counting station, we can see 10 Void Rays on the map, 3 Tempests and 4 Phoenixes, and only 4 sentries on the map here, so not a whole lot of sentries here, but he doesn't need too many, because like I said, he's going for air units. He just needs to be able to keep the ground forces kind of far back, especially if his opponent decides to go for Hydralisks. That Hydralisks is what he's most worried about, keeping the Hydralisks nice and zoned out. Now it looks like TLO is looking to get a little bit aggressive, as he's going to be loading up all of his Overlords here with a couple of Queens and a whole lot of Zerglings, and in the meantime, oh, HasuObs' entire army is out here. Does he have a Mothership Core to be able to recall? Where is that Mothership Core? I have no idea where his Mothership Core is. Where's his mother? Oh, there he goes. Okay, he finally didn't meet up there. He does manage to teleport everything back into the main, but there are so many Void Rays going down. Prismatic alignment going down on all of these Void Rays, doing so much damage right now, managing to clean up everything quite fast. TLO not managing to do a whole lot of damage here. A lot of units going down here, and I don't think he lost very much. HasuObs lost very, very little in this fight. Some Zerglings trying to go out here, but he's getting completely force fielded in there, and it looks like TLO actually going to lose a whole lot of units on that. Now he's going to lose a whole lot of Overlords too. Still got Queens and Zerglings in some of them as well, but in the meantime there's a big Zergling counterattack going down at this third, as well as TLO just continues to just get as many units as he can down here, just countering all over the place with these Zerglings, trying to take advantage of the fact that his units move faster than his opponent here, but these Void Rays are dealing so much damage to these Corruptors as these Corruptors are coming in. +1/+1 on the Corruptors, +2 attack on the Void Rays, and these Void Rays kill those Corruptors so fast. Some Lings manage to get up into the main. Looks like he's going to be able to deal some damage here as he's starting to drop a lot of probes there. It looks like 10 workers killed so far here for LiquidTLO. Notice TLO has established this base once again, not mining yet though. Not at all mining yet, and TLO kind of a little low on the food count. 140 food to the 168 of HasuObs, but TLO's drone count is still a lot higher, and he's been mining on 4 bases for quite a while now. Gonna need to transfer some drones here to that newly established 5th base pretty soon. +2/+2 about to be finished here for LiquidTLO as well. But I don't know. I don't know about this composition here from LiquidTLO. This is not a composition I've seen too often here, this Ling Corruptor style. It's a really, really interesting style where it looks like he's just going to continue to just load up. Oh, needs to be really careful though, as he's just going to continue to push in. Even though his opponent knows about it, he's just going to continue to push in there. HasuObs trying to take another base there, but TLO, 2 on top of it with his Zergling movement, going to be able to get in there, and oh, all the Void Rays can't manage to come here and meet up with all these Overlords. And look at how fast those Overlords die to those Void Rays with that Prismatic Beam. Oh, they're so strong. Do so much damage so fast. And it looks like HasuObs still managing to hold on to this position over here as well, but TLO doing a fantastic job of just attacking left side, right side, continuing to force his opponent to have to divide up his army, and he's just waiting for his opponent to screw up at this point. At this point, he's just continuing to attack on either side, and the moment HasuObs doesn't split up his army properly, TLO is just going to take full advantage. Now we do see Archons coming down here for HasuObs in the base of TLO. We continue to see lots of upgrades going down here for his Zerglings as well, going up to +3 melee attacks here. And oh, big Zergling drop here in the main. Doesn't manage to deal too much damage. I don't know about these drops here from TLO. I like the idea of doing drops in the main in general, but in this particular game, there's not a whole lot of tech here. If there were a lot of gateways and things here, it would be really, really hard for HasuObs to try to deal with this. But there's really just not a whole lot of units and things, not a whole lot of buildings here, not a lot of tech for TLO to be able to take out here. A lot of the tech is focused at the natural and at the third here, which is much harder spot for TLO to have to drop. So I don't know about this insistence to keep dropping on the side. I mean, it's keeping his opponent guessing, keeping his opponent constantly wondering what side the attacks are coming from, having to dance his units back and forth, and it looks like once again he's going to be going for drops over in the main, but in the meantime the bulk of his army is going to be coming down here to try to stop this third, and looks like he's going to be doing pretty well at that. This attack does go down to all these Void Rays and Archons as well as Zealots, but now it looks like the forces of TLO on this side are, oh, nice move there by HasuObs as he manages to use that Mothership Core to teleport all the way down to that third base. And this is nice here. Oh, storms going down here. Nice force fields going down here. Beautiful storms going down all over all those Zerglings. Those Zerglings are so weak. They're going to go down so fast to those Zealots. And man, TLO, despite doing all this amazing job of just attacking left and right, HasuObs is doing a fantastic job of defending here. Now, that is not to say that TLO is, or that HasuObs is getting ahead. HasuObs is still on 3 bases to the now 5 bases of LiquidTLO, so it's now up to HasuObs absolutely to try to get out here and deal some damage. And so we can see that he's moving out with a lot of his forces here, and it looks like he's trying to establish this base, which I think this is a very, very good idea here for HasuObs, because he wants to establish a base and defend where his opponent close to his opponent's bases, right? And oh, looks like HasuObs is now moving across the map with this really, really strong army. All of these corruptors are in the yellow, in the orange, in the red. Oh, forces another cancel with this small group of lings here. Nice moves there by LiquidTLO as he's now going to just run those lings down here, but will he be able to do that much damage? There's only one cannon here, and that cannon does not have a whole lot of health, and these are +3 lings with the adrenal glands upgrade, I believe. I'm pretty sure he has the adrenal glands upgrade, but in the meantime, these void rays and all these other units are moving into this base here, going to be able to clean that up pretty handily, and now this is going to force TLO into an awkward position here, because his opponent is about to have this base established, and once this base is established, what does that mean for TLO? It means that he can't expand here. He would have to expand, yeah, here. His only option is to expand there, which is pretty close to his opponent's natural. But in the meantime, a whole big link counterattack goes down here, takes down that third. And oh my goodness, TLO is just all over the place with links. And look at this, once again, links coming across the map here, and I think he's going to actually force this to actually have to go down. I don't think he's going to be able to hold this. All of his army just moved over here to deal with all those Zerglings. In the meantime, all these Zerglings coming in, dealing damage so fast. Is he going to get forced the cancel on that 4th base from HasuObs? And it looks like, yes, he's going to cancel it once again. Now, TLO is not mining on this base anymore, but he's establishing this one, and he's managed to take down this base as well as this base, reducing HasuObs' mining to almost nothing. If we check out the income, yeah, look at the income rate right now. The income rate is absolutely ridiculous in LiquidTLO's favor. LiquidTLO is mining 12 times the amount of resources that HasuObs is right now. That is absolutely ridiculous. And we do see that he is now going into infestors, and looks like he's going to be moving into the main once again here with these Zergling counterattacks. These Zergling counterattacks are just constant here from HasuObs, and oh no, actually that's actually bad there for TLO losing an infestor there. But now all these units in the main finally getting cleaned up there, but he just needs to keep whittling him down. He's just going to keep attacking left and right, left and right, left and right. At some point, TLO is just going to, or HasuObs rather, is just going to be forced to have to push in and just go for one big attack. I think that's his only option here. And then TLO is just going to have to see, can he hold the big attack that comes from HasuObs? Now, HasuObs is about to have this base established, and keep in mind, LiquidTLO has just been keeping the pressure on this side. Looks like his production has kind of died down a little bit because he's just mining on one base. He's not mining on a whole lot of bases. His 3rd is completely mined out, natural completely mined out, main completely mined out as well. More, oh wow, infestor drops now going down here for LiquidTLO as he's going to be dropping those infestors off and just dropping down a ton of these infested Terrans, which are now trying to deal some damage, and I kind of feel like HasuObs should just abandon this at this point. Abandon the main, and maybe try to just throw some cannons at the natural, defend the natural, because there's not really a whole lot worth defending here anymore. There's a bunch of Stargates, but as we can see, he's transitioning right now into Archons, and oh, all the units have just discovered the new base. They're coming in here. The prismatic alignment's going down here, and there is an Archon. These Archons are absolutely critical. Look at how much these units clump up. With those units clumped like that, then these Archons can deal so much damage. There's a whole lot of High Templar in the mix as well, and I think HasuObs actually has the stronger army here. Beautiful storms going down all over all those Corruptors. So much damage going down here, but it looks like TLO is actually going to be able to move in here with these infestors, and he might just barely be able to clean this up. It is so hard to tell what the outcome of this fight is going to be as these Corruptors continue to deal a whole lot of damage. These Tempests in the back dealing as much damage as they can as well, managing to pick up quite a few kills here. If we look at the kill count on these Tempests, yeah, 29 kills, 31 kills on these Tempests. These Tempests have done so much damage. Mutas now coming in here for LiquidTLO, but TLO is down to just 90 supply to the 145 supply of HasuObs, and neither player is mining very much. TLO is mining a lot more than his opponent. Oh no, I'm mistaken, because HasuObs just established this base. This is absolutely huge here for HasuObs, and I think HasuObs might actually be able to pull back into this game right now. And yes, TLO is going to drop the GG as he comes in, sees this base, fully mining, fully well established, defended by Archons, and TLO just doesn't have the army to be able to deal with it. So really, really nice, fun game there from TLO. That was actually a brilliantly played game there by TLO. I loved the constant attacking on all sides. It's really, really rare to see Zergs go for this kind of Ling counterattacking style. It's a kind of style that we see against Terrans a lot. And it was popularized by Life, you know, StarTale's Life, doing all these kind of attacks all over the place. But TLO decided to try it out against Protoss, and he was doing pretty well. Ling Corruptor did very, very well. But this style of HasuObs, I think, was a very, very interesting choice. I liked this choice of getting up this early sky toss, because it means that with this early sky toss he can hold off a lot of those fairly mid-game pushes. He can hold off with the Tempests, with Sentries, and with the Void Rays. He can be very, very defensive there until he can establish that third base. And then he has the option to be aggressive also with those Void Rays out. But then transitioning into those late game tech like the Templar archives and the Archons late game to really, really start to deal a whole lot of AoE damage, because what is he going up against? Against LiquidTLO. If he's going up against TLO, what is TLO going to be going for? Best case, he's going to be going for Hydras, Corruptors, things that are not so good. Units that tend to clump and don't do well against Storm. Hydras are slow. They have such trouble dodging storms. They have a lot of trouble dodging storms. And the Corruptors just stack on top of each other like crazy. So this was brilliant, brilliant, brilliant unit composition here from HasuObs. Absolutely well played game by both of these players. I hope you guys enjoyed that game. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/GlitchStarCraft, Facebook.com/GlitchStarCraft, and watch me stream live at twitch.tv/GlitchStarCraft. And that's gonna do it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Glitch out.